In this video, we're going to be learning how to create animated text. So let's get started. So the first thing you want to do is you want to make a frame inside of Starter GUI. So first let's actually add in a screen GUI. And let's just rename this to animated GUI just like this. And then let's go ahead and add in a frame into here. And I'm just going to make the anchor point 0.5, 0.5. And then I'm just going to drag this kind of down here. Now you guys can have this frame anywhere you want. This is basically where your text is going to show up. So if you want your text to be up here, then place your frame up here. But I want my text to show up at the bottom, so I'm going to place it right here. And then for the size, I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that it is scaled. So I'm going to put it as 1. So I'm going to put it as, let's do 0.8, 0.2. I think something like this, or maybe I'll actually make the y-axis smaller. And then we can go ahead and just make this transparent, just like that. And then we could rename this to animated frame. So now let's go ahead and add a local script into Starter Player Scripts.
Real quick guys, if you guys have been wanting to learn how to script on Roblox, check out the first link in the description.
And then we could just rename this to animate script. So let's go ahead and get reference to our animated UI. So we'll say local player is equal to game.players.local player. And then we're going to say local player GUI is equal to local player, wait for child player GUI. And then we'll say local animated GUI is equal to player GUI, wait for child, animated GUI. And we want the frame, so we'll say local animated frame is equal to animated GUI, wait for child, animated frame. Basically, all we're going to do is we're going to say whenever a child is added to this frame, so we'll say animated frame dot child added connect to a function. And then basically here, we're going to get this, which is going to be a text label, because anything that we add in here should be a text label. So now we're just going to basically animate the text when we add a text label to this frame. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to create a module script inside of replicated storage. And we're going to rename this to animate text. So let's go ahead and change these to animate text. Then let's go ahead and actually make a function that actually animates the text. So we'll say function animate text dot animate text, open close parentheses. And then in here, we're going to pass through the text label, of course. So what we're going to do is we're going to say local string length is equal to text label. And we're actually going to make sure they know that this is a text label so we can kind of autofill the code. Actually, before this, we're actually going to say local string is equal to text label.text. We're going to say text string. And then the string length is going to be the string.length. And the string is obviously going to be the text string. So now that we have the length, what we're going to do is we're actually going to set the text. So we're going to say text label.text. We're going to set it to basically nothing, because we want the text first to appear as like almost nothing, and then it's going to have like a typewriter effect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say for I equals 1, comma, string length do, and then we're going to say local place is equal to string.sub, and the string is going to be the text string, and then we're going to put I here. So basically what this does is it basically just gives us the letter starting at the first letter to the last letter, and it kind of loops through all the letters. So now what we could do is we could put task.wait for, let's do like 0.05 seconds. And then we're going to say text label.text is equal to text label.text. Then we're going to concatenate this with the place. Okay, so now if we go ahead and go back into our local script, we're going to say local animate text module is equal to require game.replicated storage, wait for child, animate text. And then now we're going to do animate text module dot animate text, and then we're going to pass through this text label. So now we should have everything working. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually add in another local script, and then we're just going to do, for example, actually before we do this, let's actually copy everything from here and then place it here just so we don't have to write it again. And then let's just do like test.wait for 3 seconds. And then real quick, we're going to cook up a little text label that we're going to add to our frame that we're going to animate. So anchor point will be 0.5, 0.5. And let's go ahead and make the background transparent. And let's go ahead and increase the size. Make sure text scaled is on. And then let's change this to Fredoka 1. And change the color to white. And then let's go ahead and add a UI stroke. I think that looks pretty good right there. And then this text, we're going to say animate text. Just like that. That's pretty simple. Okay, so let's add this into replicated storage. And then we'll rename this to text template. Then back into our local script, we can basically say local text template clone is equal to game.replicated storage, wait for child, text template. And then we'll just do text template clone.parent is equal to animated frame. So now we should go ahead and get a cool little animated effect. So down here at the bottom, as you can see, Ooh, okay, so it looks like we have a problem. Let's see here. Alright guys, so I did find the issue, and basically the issue is we just actually need to add a comma and then another I here. So basically the reason why we had this issue is because J defaulted to -1, and basically what the whole point of this is, it's basically saying, okay, we're going to start at this place in the text, which let's say it's 1, it's going to be the first letter, and without this it doesn't know that we want to stay at this like the same place, because this is the starting point and this is the ending point. So now we have the ending point as the same letter, so now it knows, okay, this is just the same letter. So if we go ahead and play again, as you can see on the screen, we now have a little animated text. And well guys, that is how to animate text. I hope this video helped you, and peace out.